Hello, Pretty King 79 here. I'm back with a Generation 1 Transformers review. A very, very special one indeed. It is, of course, Overlord. I did a video about a month or so ago when this guy turned up. He was my holiest of holy grails, and I thought it was definitely time to do the review. My little look at this guy. Now you'll see straight away that this guy is not 100% complete. There are a few bits missing, not much, but there are some. So if you want to watch a complete review of this guy, unfortunately this guy is not complete, but please don't turn off and go elsewhere. It's still an awesome figure to look at. Bits that are missing, you see this has got a satellite dish, radar dish here. There should be another one just there. I don't have that. There's a ramp there, there's a ramp there, there should be a third ramp here, I don't have that. And you can see there's a little white ramp there, that's missing off that as well. And if you want to be really, really pedantic, there's a claw missing there. But it's complete enough for me, and to be honest, the price that the individual parts for Overlord go for, it could well be a long, long time before I have a complete one. So I didn't want to wait, I wanted to get the review done. So, hey, whatever. Right, base mode. So this is of course Overlord's sort of base mode. He is a base former, he's a triple changer, he is a combiner, and he is also a power master or god master. He's generally pretty awesome as well, we know. Originally released in Japan in 1988 to be the sort of rival for God Ginrai or Power Master Prime as we know him over here. And then was released in 1992 in Europe, along with the Motivators, which were basically the European versions of the Brain Masters, who I have reviewed, well, one of them previously, elsewhere. So yes, this guy came out in 1992 over here. Now, in 1992, those of us that grew up with G1 from the start, which I pretty much did, by 92 I was a teenager, and I was into stuff like Warhammer and video games, and I thought Transformers were for kids. So I saw this guy in a shop in Toys R Us, it must have been 92 or 93, for 30 quid, and I thought that looks really, really cool. I wish I was a kid and I could buy it, and sadly I passed it up, and I wish I had, because it is fantastic. What do we know as teenagers, eh? We thought toys were for kids, and you know, 20 odd years later, we're still playing with them. What did we know? So, of course, Overlord was in the Master Force TV series in Japan. Over here, there was never really any fiction for him until 5 years ago, when IDW did their Last Stand of the Wreckers series, which of course everybody knows and everybody loves, and that's how most people know Overlord, and that's why it made what was already a very, very cool toy even better. So enough waffling, let's actually have a look at the detail of the figure in the base mode. Over this side we have a little antenna aerial there. Gun here can move around like so. We've got a little pod there for the Power Masters, of which there are two. We have Lady Mega and Lord Giga. That's the way around, I always get those two mixed up. Into the centre bit with the ramp here. This isn't a completely full base mode in the sense of Scorponok or Metroplex, where you can lift the whole thing up and fly it around like some kind of crazy spaceship, because these ramps literally just connect the separate bits of the city together. So if you remove those, you know, it's not actually connected. But hey, it is what it is. It still looks very cool. And Lord Giga up there, looking rather nice. Little gun turret on there. You can stand it sitting here as well if you wanted to, so they could both be on a vantage point. Oops, putting the right way around, overlooking the action. Very nice. There's a radar dishes plug in here into what will become his fists in robot mode. Ramp would obviously sit here, so if you wanted to, you could put the Power Master guys in the back of here, and the little cool little car could roll down into battle. Over this side, we've got a repair bay. Let's say the little claw, unfortunately, has snapped off. This turret turns around. This will move off in a bit anyway when we transform it. And you've got another little pod there that the guys can sit in. So there's lots of play value with this. Although it's quite static, you move it around, it will, you know, it won't move in one piece. It still had a lot of play value. So a rather nice base mode, but it's the lesser of Overlord's modes, of course, and he has much more to show us. So let's go ahead and we'll transform them into vehicle mode. Before we do that, I'm going to remove the various bits that we don't need just yet. Doing this one-handed because there goes his gun, but I shall recover that in just a minute off camera. And then we're left with the three main bits, and I shall transform those in just a second. Okay, so we're going to build the tank mode. To do that, it's a nice little transformation where everything sort of folds away pretty snugly, like so, to make half tank. And it's just the same with this side too. It all folds down. I do like the little transformation for this. It really compacts nicely. And there we go. Okay, plug the. This is the barrel of the gun, obviously. Where are we? There we are. Barrel of the gun, and that is going to fit in here, in between the two parts as I press them together. There's a peg here, hole here, corresponding on the other side, and a couple of pegs on the top here. You just have to slip them, put them both together with the gun in the middle, like so. And it can be a little bit fiddly, but let's see if I can do it. Oh, more fingers and thumbs, failing miserably. And we shall get there in the end. Here we go. Oh. There we go. Right. All popped in nicely. Hopefully that was on camera. Possibly not. But anyway, there we go. Tank mode. Very nice tank mode it is. And let's go and grab Lady Giga. Or Lady Mega, rather, I should say. And she can sit in there and drive the tank around. Now there's no turret, rotating turret on this because obviously the transformation where it splits apart, but it does look like a very nice chunky tank. So yeah, very cool. Little wheels on the bottom there so it can wheel along, and the turret can go up and down slightly. But that is the tank mode. Okay, I'll just move the tank to one side for now, and because obviously Overlord can also, well, has a jet mode. It's a very cool jet mode indeed. So we'll go ahead and remove the Power Master and transform this guy. So just pop that up, fold this gun up like so, close these up here, pop these down like so. There's a couple of pointy missile fuselage bits on the side. Those pop up. The wings fold up. They're a little bit loose on my one, but they do pop down. And we just rotate. Move my hand out of the way. Rotate this rather stiffly all the way around, and then again very stiffly we move this down. Move that, pop that up like that, pop that up like so, and then that pops down like so to reveal the jet mode. It's a very big jet mode. It's a very big jet mode indeed. But look at some of the detail on it is fantastic. It does have a front landing gear, which is completely pointless because it doesn't actually touch the ground. But it's a nice touch. But yeah, you've got some nice little features in here. You've got storage for Powermasters in the bottom, like that, but also in the top. If I can just open it up, obviously in the cockpit. He lies down for a leisurely fly. He doesn't sort of sit. Well, he doesn't have any knee articulation, so he can't sit. But I should show you the Powermasters actually. I'll do that in a minute. But you can get both Powermasters in there, and obviously you've got the gun that we've seen in base mode, which can be used as sort of a very cool, you know, as he's coming into land, he's blasting all the Autobots as he's landing, which is quite cool. Little air to ground cannon. A very nice jet mode indeed. As I say, it's absolutely huge. You can see on my one there's a little bit of sun fading. That's why he's got different coloured fuselage parts. One's nice and pink, or nice and purple, and one's rather faded, but you know, I don't mind. It's Overlord, for God's sake. You can see there's a little crack on the here as well, so if you are looking to get one of these guys, just be mindful that the orange clear plastic is quite fragile. Yeah, it's got a little crack, but nothing that really bothers me a great deal. Okay, so there we have jet and tank mode. Let's have a look at those two together. Fantastic, aren't they? Very, very cool. Very, very nice modes indeed. So we've seen base, we've seen jet, we've seen tank. We haven't seen robot mode, so we'll go ahead and do that. But before we do that, I'll just show you the Powermasters themselves. So this is Lady Mega, standard Powermaster transformation, where the legs just pop up like that to transform it into the engine mode. As with all the Powermasters, one of the main things to watch out for these guys is how fragile the arms can be, so be mindful of those. And as with the vast majority of the Powermasters, she has chrome on the engine. You can see the chrome is fairly worn on this one, but you know, you can live with that. And of course, as with all the Powermasters, there is the transformation gimmick where the engine pops in the top. Whoops, I've dropped her on the floor. Oh no. The drama. The engine pops in and allows the vehicle to transform, which in this case basically allows it to, as you see, pops in there, which in this case allows it basically to separate in half, and we'll do that in a minute when we transform into robot mode. The other Powermaster, of course, is Lord Giga, fresh back from piloting his Giga Jet. I love that, the Giga Jet, that's pretty awesome. Again, exactly the same transformation, and he has gold chrome, and you can see the gold chrome on this one is fucking awesome. It's pristine, so I've been very lucky with this one. But again, transformation exactly the same, and he again is going to sit in the back of the jet like so. Just pop him in. They're always a little bit fiddly, aren't they? Okay, and that's basically going to allow these bits here to unlock, which will become part of his legs in robot mode. But yes, so let's go ahead and make the gigantic, ridiculously awesomeness that is robot mode Overlord. So first things first, get the tank, and we're going to pull that in half like so, being careful not to drop this cannon on the floor. This cannon isn't used in bot mode, so you need to put that somewhere safe, because if you lose it, it's going to cost you a lot on eBay to replace it. And basically turning it into robot mode, these become his feet, and they literally just pop out like so. We can get rid of the engine now because the transformation is done. Those are going to be his feet. You're going to get the ramps, or his legs rather. You're going to get the ramps that we had in base mode, with a peg on the back
and a hole as well, and find the corresponding part. Here we use for the combination for the tank, so that's just going to fit in like so, very, very loosely, because these pegs are proper fragile because they're green plastic. They are very, very fragile. One of them actually did break on me, but I glued it back together, no problem. But just be very, very careful with those. That's going to be one leg in a minute. And we'll just get the other one here. Again, hole, peg, peg, hole. In we go. Very, very carefully. And that's the other leg. So, let's go to bed and build the robot, the main body bit. The fact that the engine is plugged in allows these bits to pop down, which are basically going to become the top of his legs. So let's remove the engine now, and we will turn it round, and we will fold these back here. It's actually quite a simple transformation, and that pops the fists out, pegs on the top there, and there we go. We pop this up like so, fold that round, and we're going to remove the front bit of the cockpit. First time I did this was quite scary, felt like I was going to break it. Still get a little bit scared now, but it does come out. Okay, I've done it. It's just really scary when you pull it out. You can see all the sort of marks over the years where it's sort of scraped. You kind of have to get your fingers in like that and slightly prise it open so it pops up, because obviously this is an old toy and a very expensive old toy, not one I want to break. So turn that round like so. Legs are going to go on like so. 1 and 2. There we have him, standing tall. There's a hole in the side of the front bit of the cockpit. That's going to basically just pop on like that. Then we very nearly have the complete robot mode. We just need to grab his gun, which we use briefly in base mode. As you can see, he's too big for my camera, but we'll zoom in just a moment. If I open up, I can do that with one hand. If I open up the chest pieces here, you can then pop the 2 Power Masters in the front, like so. Give it a little push, and out pops one of his weapons. And it's not going to stay now because I'm doing it one-handed. Go on, there we go. And I don't know if there's a right way, if you have to do this a particular way with these two. I don't think you do. But they both pop in, revealing, oh, excuse me, bit of a cold, bit of a cough. So yeah, the two sort of gun gimmicks pop out. This is called a little double cannon. 6 little cannons here as well. This guy's tooled up as well, we know. So we'll zoom out, and here we have Overlord in all his glory. And he's absolutely fucking huge. He is massive. He's the same size as G1 Scorponok. Don't believe me? I shall show you. There we go. G1 Scorponok. There's not much in between the two of them at all. They're both huge, they're both fantastic. But Overlord, yeah, surprised me when I got him. Let's get rid of Scorponok. You're very cool. So yeah, it surprised me when I got this guy actually how big he was, because I've never really, never laid hands on an Overlord prior to getting him recently. I'd seen them at Auto Assembly a few years ago, a few of them, but not close enough to really get an idea of how big he is. But he's absolutely massive. I thought he was going to be sort of a couple of inches shorter than he is. So yeah, he's fantastic. He's huge. The detail on this guy. I mean, obviously these were the ramps. It's nice how it all sort of merges in together. I think you can also have him like this if you want to. I think, in fact, this is probably the official way to have him displayed. That's how he is on the box. But because I've got the miscoloured ones, I kind of prefer it like that. But that's just me. So before anyone says, "Oh, you transformed it wrong," you know, there we go. So yeah, very, very big, but articulation. He's got the arms And he has got leg articulation as well. I'm not going to do it on camera because it's obviously a bit awkward when I'm doing it one-handed, but he can sit down if you really want him to do that. And his head does move from left to right. You can see that lovely face sculpt, which of course became slightly more twisted and evil in the hands of Nick Roche for Last Stand of the Reckless, but very clearly is Overlord. What can I say? I'm just ecstatically happy to have this guy. There's grails and there's grails, isn't there? I mean, when I first started collecting G1 bots, nearly a decade ago now, Six Shot, Predator King, and Fort Max were, you know, the ones I wanted. But once Fort Max got on, the Encore reissue, Overlord kind of overtook him. And it was just, oh, fingers in the way, apologies. It was just a bot I'd never thought I'd actually own because of the price that he goes for. It's just ridiculous. I don't know if we'll ever get a reissue of him, but who knows. So price-wise, yeah, well, I'm sure you all know how ridiculously expensive this guy can be. At AA in 2013, when I last went, I'm going this year, by the way, people, so hopefully I'll see you there. But yeah, AA 2013, there was a boxed one of these guys for £800. £800 for a boxed one. Complete ones, you can regularly pay between £300 and £400 for. This guy's not complete. He's got most of his bits. I mean, if I get all the bits together at the front, oops, you know, the accessories that he's got. Okay, he's missing 3 bits. He's missing a missile for his gun as well. But hey, that's no biggie. Okay, he's missing those bits. Yes, he's got some somewhere in places and a few dinks over the years. But the price I paid for him, and yeah, I was very happy. The price I paid for him, £105. £105. That, in anyone's money, is extremely good value. The seller was also selling a Star Saber for £50, but sadly someone bought him before I could get my greasy hands on that. But yeah, for 105 quid for this guy. I mean, if you looked at the prices on this guy, one with no accessories, £100 is about the right mark. The Power Masters go for between £40 and £50 each. Most of the parts go between £30 and £40. The radar dishes, especially because they are fragile and small. That's probably why I'm unlikely to complete this guy anytime soon, because of the price of the bloody radar dishes. So yeah, for that price, very, very happy, and so glad to add this guy to my collection. As I said, I didn't think I'd ever own one. So, things to watch out for. I've kind of mentioned it throughout the review. But he's a big sturdy dude. If you can get one of these guys, I'm sure you will get one. But it's all down to the price, isn't it? And you know, I managed to get one for a bargain. Hopefully, yeah, you guys can too if you keep your eyes out. So thank you very, very much for watching this rather long, but hopefully entertaining review. Apologies for my cold. Apologies for the occasionally shoddy camera work. I'm not used to reviewing bots of this size. Probably why I've never got around to reviewing Scorponok or Fort Max. But hopefully you enjoyed it anyway, and I will be back very, very soon with some more reviews and more random Transformer related awesomeness. Until next time, guys, it's bye-bye from me, and it's goodbye from Overlord. Bye!